Hello, it's me again. Shocker, 2 videos in 1 week. I really want to be better about doing updates, not just for YouTube, but for, myself, like I did with Emery's pregnancy, because this pregnancy's been the same in a lot of ways and different in a lot of ways, and either way, I just want to remember it. So we'll see how good I can be. It'll probably still be chaotic like my last video, but not as long, hopefully. Emery's over there playing with some books and stuff, so we'll see how long, she can last. But this is I guess my first pregnancy update video. I'm going to do the symptoms I had from weeks, 3.5 weeks from when I found out to now, and I am 12.5 weeks now. So here we go. So I found out I got a first faint positive test when I was 10 DPO. So way earlier, like 9 DPO, super early. And of course I didn't have any symptoms at all at that point. My first symptom was at 5 weeks and 5 days, and that's when the nausea started kicking in. I remember driving around with my mom and just feeling super nauseous, and I was like, do I need to eat, or is this the morning sickness kicking in? What is this? And then it got a little bit worse and worse each day. And a week later, not even a week later, a few days later, it was just full-on morning sickness, throwing up all day, nauseous all day, super sick. And, it was crazy. And then, of course, I'd be so sick, and then 2 days later, I'd be completely fine. And that would freak me the hell out, because I'm like, oh no, something's wrong, the baby stopped growing or whatever. And then I'd be freaking out for a whole day that I wasn't sick. And then the next day I'd be just as sick. So, of course, I remember doing that with Emery's pregnancy. And I knew that, and I remember telling myself and my husband telling me, there were days that you weren't sick with Emery and everything was fine. But it doesn't matter. You still don't feel better. It doesn't calm you at all, Anyway, there was 1 or 2 good days, and then the rest have all been just really, really hard. I was sick with Emery. I thought I was super sick with Emery until now. Looking back, I was nauseous and sick, but not to the point where I was throwing up all day. And when I did throw up with her, I felt relief after. This time around, I would throw up and then still feel nauseous all day. It was just awful. I did finally get on a medication called Diclegis, and you start out with 2 pills at night for 3 or 4 days, and then if you're still feeling sick, you add another pill midday, and then if it's still not helping, you can go up to 4 pills a day. And I did end up having to go to 4 pills a day, but once I did and got it in my system, because it is a preventative medicine, I felt really good, and I felt like I could function, because I was so sick that I didn't want to go anywhere. I couldn't do anything. And I felt bad because poor Emery's just got this bum mom that's laying on the floor while she's playing. And anyway. So once the Diclegis kicked in, it helped a lot. With Emery, I had this too, but severe fatigue started about 5.5 weeks or so. To the point where Emery goes down for a 2-hour nap. Megan goes down for a 2-hour nap. I'm usually not a napper. When I'm not pregnant, I don't nap. Or when I don't have a newborn, I don't nap. I just really don't need to. And, oh gosh, it was getting to the point where I just couldn't wait for her to go down for a nap. She'd go down a little bit earlier and earlier each day because I just couldn't even keep my eyes open. And thank heaven she's a really good napper, so she'll nap a good 2 or so hours, and so will I. now at, 12 and a half weeks, I don't need to nap as much. And if I do, it's like a 20-minute nap just to like help me get through the rest of the day. But I find that the days I don't nap, I'm okay. I'm not struggling as much. So that's pretty good. I do get migraines anyway. Like I started getting migraines when I was like 12. And they would just, I would get them like once a month or a couple times a month or something like that. They're just, they're hereditary. My grandpa had them. My sister and I have them. But when I was pregnant with Emery, I can't remember when it started with her. I wanted to say it was in the 6th week. I started getting horrible migraines, but they wouldn't allow me to take anything except for Benadryl for them and like Tylenol, which does absolutely nothing if you have a migraine. Usually I have like a prescription medicine, but I wasn't able to take it when I was pregnant. So we had to find a different medication and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I finally got on butabitol, which is like, I think the generic for Furacet, which is safe during pregnancy. I think it's a category C drug, I want to say. But I had no choice. I had to take it with Emery. I was working full time. And I would have them 2 to 3 times a week, and I'd have to leave work or I'd be out for a few hours trying to get rid of this migraine because I just could not function with them. So, with this pregnancy, 6 weeks went by, 7, we were coming up on 7 weeks and I hadn't got any migraines. And I was like, well, maybe I'll just be super sick with this pregnancy, but I won't get migraines. Like maybe that's the trade-off. And that day that I said that, I got a migraine and we were up camping, of course. Luckily, I was prepared and I had my butabitol, but those kicked in and I pretty much had one every day for like 3 or 4 days in a row. I did go to the chiropractor and that helped. Oh, thanks, baby. Can you turn that back on? Thank you. Okay. Anyway, once I went to the chiropractor, I guess my neck was very, very tight and out of line. And so that did help. I went 2 weeks without a migraine, but now I get them about once or twice every 2 weeks, which is doable. I can manage that. Hey, can we not? Come on, let's get down. Can we get down? Did you fall down? No. Oh, no. You fall down. No. Oh, no. That was funny. Sorry, baby. Okay, so the migraines are manageable now. And my sweet father, who lives just like a mile away, every time I have a migraine, he will come over and help me with Emery and rub my head and my neck. And that is like the only relief I get. So I'm very, very grateful for him. Okay, you want this open? There you go. You want to take those out? Okay, what's next? Okay, this one's kind of weird, but I think I have heard other people struggle with this too. And I don't remember this with my first pregnancy, but I feel like my nose is constantly stuffed. Like, I feel like I'm blowing my nose all day long. And I don't know, it's just a weird, like, symptom. And at first I was like, am I getting a cold? Like, what's going on? But it's been like that since probably 5 or 6 weeks, and it's never stopped. I mean, obviously it's not that bad of a symptom, but it's just something I noticed. It's just kind of weird. I did feel around 7 weeks, I did feel some round ligament pain, which I thought was pretty early, and it kind of freaked me out at first, but then I looked it up and there was a lot of other people who felt it that early as well. And then since then it's kind of come and gone. Usually at the end of the night I can really feel the stretching and, pulling of the round ligament. So I'm sure it just, I don't know, comes and goes. I don't know. And the days that I'm more active, is when it's usually more tender. So I don't know if that has something to do with it. And then my last one, which isn't really a symptom, it's just like, I guess a side effect of pregnancy, is my belly is huge already. Like, I'm almost 13 weeks, and I look like I did when I was 16 weeks, 17 weeks with Emery. And I know you show earlier with your second, but this is, like, out of control. That is going to end badly. Like, I already had to pull out my maternity clothes. Not necessarily because my other pants don't fit. Like, I can do the rubber or the hairband trick or whatever. But I just feel like my abdomen is super tender. And then when you're nauseous, you don't want, like, pressure on your stomach. And I don't know. Like, I was super uncomfortable. And I'm like, why am I suffering? I've got these marvelous maternity pants with these beautifully, stretchy bands or whatever. So I pulled those out probably a week ago, and it's been wonderful ever since. I just think I will try it. Well, I'm not going to be able to insert a photo on this because I'm putting it on a different camera. But on my next video, I'll show you, like, my progress bumps. From 10 weeks to 12 weeks, there's, like, a definite, like bump where, and I look back at my pictures with Emery, and I mean, I was the same for, like, the first 14 weeks, it feels like. So, anyway, that's just kind of funny. And I know you show earlier in your second, but it just feels really weird. Oh, what are you getting into back there? Did you find my keyboard? She is all over the place. Okay, and then I just want to finish up this video with anyone who has any questions about keto, what we did for keto, how we started. I do have a keto Instagram page. It's Simple Keto Foods. I will link it in the description below. But if you want me to do a video on what my husband and I did for keto, my husband lost like 45 pounds. I lost 35 on keto in like 4 or 5 months, and that's when we started getting pregnant. So I know that keto was the reason that we started getting pregnant naturally after 7 years of infertility. And like, I asked my doctors, I'm like, is this why? Is this like what changed like my husband's, male factor infertility? And she's like, I don't know. There's not a lot of studies that back it up, but that's the only change. So it must have, because we both lost weight before we got pregnant with Emery, before we did IVF with Emery. So I know it wasn't just the weight loss. I'm sure that had a big, play in it, but the, being in ketosis must have done something to both of our bodies to make us more fertile. So anyway, but if you have any questions on that, what we did, or, anything else, just comment down below and I'll do another video. And I probably won't do weekly updates with this pregnancy. I mean, I didn't with Emery either. Just because I feel like, sometimes there's not much change week to week. But I'll try to do them every 2 to 3 weeks, mostly for myself so I can remember everything. I am trying to also journal, but it doesn't happen as much. Anyway, okay, I hope you guys are having a great day. Bye!